Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beards in Business. This is the beard section of Beards in Business. Today, we're going to continue our building on the foundation of wash, which we covered last week, how to wash. Then we went into the usage of straighteners to get the beard nice and straight. Now we're going to start getting into product. So today's product that we're going to be talking about is oils. We're going to show a short video here. And then when we come back, we'll get into more details about oils and how they work and what they do and why you should use an oil. And then we'll move right into the business portion of today's show. So take it away.
What's up, guys? We just got finished with our beard straightener. For today, I am using DD214. This is our military scent. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to pinch the sides, twist while I'm pushing down. Once I pull it up, you can see it has a tube. To start out, I would probably use about that much that's in there, so about a quarter. For me, I like to use the entire thing. So as you can see, fill up almost the entire tube, take the contents, empty it all in my hand. Put my tube back. From here, take and I rub my hands vigorously together. Then come in, start with my cheeks, all in my cheeks. I want to make sure that I get it nice and good on my face. Remember, this is more for our face than it is the actual beard. And I come down because I've got a little bit of longer beard. I come in and I go up. Make sure you get under your neck. And then with the residual, you want to work it through into your beard. From here, if you still have some left on your hands, you can go multiple different things. You can use it to moisturize your cuticles. You put it in your hair, which is what I typically do. Put it in my hair, go back, one time through. From here, we'll use the comb or brush to distribute the oils, which we'll cover in later videos.
All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video. Nice, short, down and dirty of how to use the oil. DD214 is such a great scent. Hopefully, if you haven't tried it out, you're willing to jump on and try that out. Plus, part of the proceeds will go to a veteran charity next Veterans Day. So, why oil? So the main reason we use oil, as previously discussed, is oil is not necessarily for the hair. So, like all of this down here, the oil doesn't really help it other than make it smell good. What the oil is for is going on in your pores. It hydrates them. And what that hydration in the oil does is it goes in there and it strengthens those hairs that are currently coming out of your pores. Then from there, it also has the hairs the pores that aren't promoted, that are opened up, promoting growth. It gets them sparked up and gets them going to start some growth. So strengthens, promotes new growth. Amazing smells. Whiskerman at the time of this recording is carrying 13 different scents, 12 that have smells, one that is just our base oils. So we have a scent for everybody. So there's different ways of applying. One thing, I just showed the one way on the video, but we'll talk about the other ways. So you can put it in your hand, rub it in your hand, then put it on your beard. The other way of doing it is taking the dropper, putting the drops directly on your face, letting it run down. That's a different way of doing it. You find what works best for you. Also, as I pointed out in that video, you heard me show the tube. You need to figure out how much is right for you. For me, I fill the thing up and put it on and go. And then I have plenty to do my hair and everything like that. For you, you may just need a couple of drops to just get onto your face, especially if you got a shorter beard. Just find out what works for you to get the most amount on. You could always start low and add more versus going more you can't take away. From there, once we have our oil in, we're going to use a comb, which we'll get into briefly in this section. We'll do a video of it in coming weeks. But then you're just going to want to take a comb, preferably a wooden comb. There are different kinds. You get a wooden comb like this. And then what it really does is you can see that the color of this comb is a little bit different. Basically, you just want to comb through. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of that oil and start redistributing. Any excess is going to go soak into the comb, and it's going to allow it to distribute evenly across your face. And then after you're done combing, you're going to want to go back in and rub it again. So those of you that have used oils before, if you're using a different company, awesome. At least you're using something. What separates Whiskerman from other brands? One, we're disabled veteran owned. Oh, I gotta say about that, that stands for itself. Two, we use the highest quality of oils. So with our oils, you can put them on, and as soon as you're done, take your entire beard, take it all, and rub your hand, and then go right on your shirt of any kind, and it will not leave a residue. It won't stain your clothes or anything like that. To where some of the other companies, you may have an oily looking beard. You may have your hands feel oily. You may stain your clothes. And we use the highest ingredients. That's why ours doesn't do that. And the way we combine them and our scent profile separates us from everyone else. Like always, if you want more information about this and want to dive more in, you can follow us on all of our social media, which is at the end of the show. We'll put all that up. Another way that you can get some more details is by grabbing our book. There's lots of details. We'll go into more, several pages about oils and stuff. So we will get into more details and look forward to next week to where we will build on this foundation, and we will talk about the third of our four. We will talk about how to utilize a butter. So look forward to next week. So with this portion of beards is complete, we're going to go ahead and jump right into business.
All right, what's up, guys? We're into the business portion of today's episode, and I've got the pleasure of having Michelle on. I met Michelle actually at our first function on season 11 of the Blocks, which will be coming out soon. That's all we can say about that. We actually were sitting next to each other at dinner and started up conversation, and then we wound up, we like drawing inappropriate things. Those of you that know, you know. So
boy.
we kind of connected right away. And it's a thank you so much for taking the time to be on here.
Thanks for
Tell us,
inviting me.
yeah, absolutely. Tell us who you are and a little bit about your business, what your business is, and then you can go right into what your business is.
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Michelle Falish. I live in the Chicagoland suburbs. Naperville. I don't live in Naperville, but I'm like right next door. So usually people can kind of identify at least where that is. But yeah, so I started Mila Naturals Inc. It's right now my product is body butter, which if you're not familiar with body butter, it's like lotion, only more hydrating and thicker. It's like lotion, but better. Excuse me. It's an all natural product. I am super big on like health, sustainability. I think that it's important to not just watch what you put in your body, but also be mindful of what you're putting on yourself. Yeah, so I'm new. It's a newer company and looking, we're slowly growing and looking to expand. And I have some ideas of where I want to take it. And
Speaking in a little bit more about the butter, I've seen some of your posts lately, and it's been interesting. Most people think, well, here's a female, sounds like a female product. It's got to be something for faces. But what I saw that you just posted in the last couple of weeks is people that have those dry, nasty, Skeletor looking feet.
yeah, actually that was a hand. And that was, okay, so body butter is predominantly, it's going to be something that a female would purchase. And they are fragrant. Well, I have unscented. There are also 8 different fragrances, but I only use 100% essential oil for those fragrances. And it's very light. It's no more than 1% of the entire product. So like people are not going to smell you from a mile away. Men do use it. The unscented is probably one that the men would go for, or possibly peppermint or a citrus one or something like that. As far as that hand, so yeah, like it does keep you very extra super hydrated. I did not create it with the intention of having it alleviate any kind of conditions. Legally, I cannot say what said conditions are, like what condition that she has, because I don't have FDA approval. That would be an entire process that would happen, like if I ever chose to do that somewhere way down the road, right? However, people who have chronic dry conditions that yield dry, flaky skin. The feedback that I've received from them is that my product helps alleviate that better than anything that they have taken, whether it's prescription or over the counter, but labeled as being, used to treat those conditions. So I didn't even know that she had any issues. This is my husband's cousin. And she placed an order for her and her mom, and I gave it to them when we hosted Thanksgiving. And then when I saw her on Christmas, she was like, "Oh, hey, I want to show you something." And she opened up these pictures on her phone, and she was like, "This is my hand. This is before I started using your product." And well, you saw it. It looked horrible. I mean, it was like dry, it was cracked. It is not, it's not pretty. And then she has a secondary picture, like after she had been using it for like a week or whatever, and you can see that it started to heal. And then the after one is like totally healed. So I was completely blown away by that.
Yeah, which is awesome. I've had the same similar experience of, using beard products. The ladies use our butters to brighten up their tattoos and stuff. So it's pretty cool when you can find second and third order effects of your product, which is really cool, especially since, behind you out the window is probably 20 feet of snow because you guys just got hit with a storm.
Yeah.
Normally in the winter, we get dry hands. A lot of people get dry skin. So that where you, so what was your intent behind this product? Like, what was your initial, before you found out that it does help with dry hands?
So really all I wanted was an awesome natural product that like a superior product that I would personally use for myself, because again, like I'm highly focused on health and fitness, and I want to make sure that everything that I am putting on my body is going to be like the safest, healthiest thing. And I want to provide that for other people as well. But yeah, so the way that I even ended up creating this product was I sell real estate. So that is how I afford to house myself and eat and pay all my bills, until Mila can actually take off, and maybe we'll change that. But 2021 was a particularly unlucrative year for me. I had several deals that I don't even want to get into it. It was very painful. Like that was probably the worst year that I've had. And, Christmas rolled around and I was like, which to me is always a stressful time anyway. But Christmas rolled around and I was just like, well, looks like everyone's getting handmade gifts, because I don't have any extra money right now because I had the shittiest year I've ever had. And excuse me, I like to play around in the kitchen and everything. And so like if there's like new recipes or whatever, I'll try that out. And even with like DIY kind of like products and whatnot. And so I found this recipe for body butter, and it was just solely butters and oils. And so I made that, and I gave like a couple different scents, and I gave those to friends and family, more females, as gifts. And the feedback was pretty good. That, I whipped it. But the problem is when you have a product and it's whipped over time, so like you have this nice light fluffy texture, but over time the air dissipates and so it becomes more compressed, so that texture doesn't remain after a long period of time. And my husband was actually the one he was like, you know what, like this is a really, like the product, like it felt really good at first and it still does, like it's still, like it feels good on your skin, but the problem is that like it doesn't have that same texture. And he's a pharmacist, so I have a degree in environment. We both have science backgrounds. And he's like, well, you should really look into like getting like some sort of an emulsifying wax or something. And so I did a bunch of research, and it took me probably a little bit over a year of like tinkering around with it, because once you add an emulsifying wax, you really need to add water. And then the problem becomes, once you add water to anything, is that's the vector for any kind of microbial activity, such as, you know, like whether it's mold, fungus, bacteria, because your product will spoil. And so then it goes into, okay, well, now I need a preservative, and yeah, so it's a process. But after playing around with it and all the different measurements, like I finally got the end product and I love it. So body butter, typically, not all, but most body butters are just going to be whatever butters and oils that people use. And you can get, you know, it's thick and it takes a long time to actually absorb into your skin. But with my product, you still have like the ultra hydrating aspect to it, like you would with any normal body butter. But with the addition of the water and some of the other products that I use, like it just glides on super easy and it absorbs more quickly, so that, I mean, you're not damaging clothes, you know, a little bit goes a long way. But yeah, it's almost like it absorbs so much better than some other products that are out there.
Oh, that's awesome. The origin story in there of, being, 2021 was crappy for lots of people, but making the best out of a situation, like you don't want to be that person that doesn't give gifts. So you come up with something creative, and then here you are, I'm not good with the math, 21, 3 years later,
Yeah.
you actually have a business. So one thing that I don't think we've discussed, or I don't think I know this answer, or maybe I forgot it. How did you come up with the name for your company and products?
Oh, so Mila, well, this is a stupid story, but most of my stories are, you know this. When I was 15, I went to oh God, where was it? It was Michigan. I wanted to say South Bend, but that's Indiana. It doesn't matter. Somewhere in Michigan, to a friend's house, and his parents didn't want us. They had a cabin, South Haven, maybe that's what it was. Anyway, we were allowed to sleep out in the backyard in tents, and I went with my boyfriend at the time, the friend whose family had the place, and then another or two other friends. And we were idiots and underage drinking down like on the beach, you know. And at a certain point, I decided that it was time for me to go to bed. And I went into my tent with my boyfriend at the time. And one of the other friends who was there kept on circling my tent, speculating on what may or may not be happening. It was, and I don't know, he was like, "Oh, Mila." I have no clue where he even came up with that or why he started calling me Mila, but it was ever since that day that it just stuck. So people in that circle of friends from high school that I, still have like a little bit of contact with, they call me Mila. And I just figured that like it's shorter than Michelle. It's a little less common than Michelle. And so that was the name, and I chose that and I'm sticking to it.
That's pretty cool. A lot of companies don't really have that. This was, your backstory, I think, is so cool of, how you came about the product itself, and then how you went back to your high school days to come up with the name of it. You could have called it MF. You could have called it a million things. But
MF, the
yeah,
best initials ever.
yeah, might not have
Never.
sold as well, I'm sure, but
Hmm.
it's just having that background is so cool. So obviously you are the company right now, correct? It's just you're
I
making
am.
the product.
Yeah, I am. So I have to do some research into this. I always have like 10 million things going on. It's either like I have to be inundated with all these different projects or nothing, like I'm I'm working on finding this like more moderate speed as
Mhm.
opposed to being up here. But really where I think that I want to go with this is I would like to have a company that is primarily composed of women. I don't want to exclude guys. I don't even know legally if there, I might run into some legalities with that, but it is obviously a woman-owned company. And I think I want to do some type of employee-owned venture because, it's important to me, especially as a business owner, that the people who are working for me, that they're well taken care of. And I feel like if, and again, I haven't done my research entirely on employee owned, so I have to see exactly what it looks like and if it fits the idea that I have. But I feel like if the people who are working there have some sort of vested interest in the company itself, then chances are they're going to care more about it, because obviously the better the company does, the better their bank accounts are going to do.
Yeah, that's a great. We're kind of Whiskerman's kind of toying with that right now. It's in your case they would have moist skin,
Yeah.
well hydrated skin in the game. In my case, they would just put some facial hair in the game. But that's awesome because someone when they're passionate, they're willing to give 110 versus when I had the regular 9 to 5, you're like, does it really matter? If what I do today, like, do I have to be great every single day, or can I just
No.
show up and be a bag of bones today? Um, so right now, how can people find you? And then we'll put all your information. But what is the main way if I wanted to purchase this right now? How would I do that?
So I would say go to my website at milanaturalsinc.com. It's naturals with an S and inc is INC.com. Place an order there. I am on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I am pretty responsive if people message me to any and on any of those platforms. My email address is mila.naturals.inc@gmail.com. And again, like however you decide to reach out, I pretty much have my phone attached to me at all times because of real estate. So you will hear a response within probably an hour tops.
Awesome. And then we'll put all that contact information up and keep it up at the end of the show here. So that's all the questions I had. So now for the fun part, which this could always get dangerous. Anything else that you want to add or anything that you want to talk about?
Anything else that I want to add about my company specifically? Yeah, so the only thing is right now I think when you place an order, it projects that the delivery date is going to be pretty far out in the future. I'm not sure how to correct that. I find it a little concerning, and I just want to bring it up because typically if you place an order, it's shipped that day or the next day. Now, every once in a while, we might run into some hiccups, like I might be on back order, you know what I mean? Like, so, and I'm personally creating it right now. So you're getting a handcrafted product. Obviously sometime in the future, it's not always going to be that way, but right now it is me. So, but again, generally speaking, I can get it turned around pretty quickly. So it should ship same day or next day. And I mean, however you choose to, whatever delivery method you choose that you want to pay for. Like if it's going out USPS, it'll take however the post office, it's in their hands at that particular moment in time. But yeah, so if it's saying that you're not going to get it for like 2 weeks, that's probably incorrect.
Yeah, and for those of you that shop with small businesses, I think a lot of people have grace when they see those things because they know that's why they come to us, those small businesses, because they know you're physically taking your hands making the product, and then there are those small glitches. So that's awesome to point out. And then what's so cool about the Blocks network, which is what I really love, and you probably hear this several episodes of the show itself is cool. When that's out, we'll do a whole thing. But the community of once I said who wants to come on the podcast, Michelle reached out, a couple other folks, but we're going to solve that problem. We're going to get it to where it'll give you an actual date. Someone somewhere listening to this is going to say, oh yeah, you just got to, put 2 more gigawatts in the flux capacitor and then it'll give you the right date and stuff. But
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too. If there's an issue, I will contact you. My website is going to capture your email address and your phone number. I have to be able to get a hold of you somehow. I will reach out and be like, hey, I'm in Punta Cana. I'll, either I'll try and get someone else to fill in and send the stuff out, or, but you're going to get some sort of communication from me directly to let you know, if there is an issue, when to anticipate that this is going to be rectified. So I'm very
That's and that's one of the biggest things of even before I was in business, shopping small. You don't get that interaction. If you order something from Walmart, it'll get there when it gets here. The big box stores don't care. That's why you should shop small and smart, support small businesses. So any final parting shots?
not that I can, I don't know, not that I can think of.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show. You are one of our most of the men that have been on have some form of facial hair, even if they're just growing a couple hairs here. So obviously you don't meet the first part of the beards, clearly, but I appreciate you coming on talking about your amazing business. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I know that I personally, have never been able to, nor do I ever want to be able to grow facial hair. But I have recommended your product to people.
Well, I appreciate it. And that's what the cool thing of having a big network that we got from being on a show, and the closeness that everybody got of, hey, I know this product, which is so cool. So with that, guys, if you made it to this point, awesome. This is the end. I will put up all of Mila's information so that you
Thank
can
you.
go get this amazing product and reach out. We appreciate it.